We do start our show, though, with unfortunate news out of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark announced today that she will miss both the three-point contest and the WNBA All-Star Game this upcoming weekend in Indiana after re-aggravating a groin injury in that final minute of Tuesday's win over the Connecticut Sun.
The NBA's Adam Silver staring down at the WNBA's All-Star Weekend, jaw clenched, as the league's biggest phenomenon, Caitlin Clark, is sidelined at the very moment women's basketball needs her most. The scene is surreal. The city's banners are plastered with Clark's face. Tickets sold out months ago, but she's nowhere near the court. The official reason? Another injury, another blow. But this isn't just a setback for the Indiana Fever. This is a storm that's shaking the foundations of the WNBA. Behind the scenes, labor disputes are turning ugly, whispers of a looming lockout are spreading, and TV executives are praying Clark's absence doesn't tank the league's fragile momentum. It's all happening as the most important collective bargaining showdown in years threatens to freeze the WNBA's future. At this crossroads, Silver's concern is palpable. He's not just worried about one weekend, he's worried about the league's survival.
I was curious for your reaction to the hard foul Caitlin Clark took last week.
I'll leave the specific question about the foul to my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert. Of course, I want to see Caitlin treated fairly and appropriately in the league. I would say it seems like she can take care of herself. She's a tough player. I think it may be lost on some people who are new to basketball in terms of a little bit of the controversy in the WNBA. What an incredible talent she is.
You can practically hear the frustration in Adam Silver's voice. This isn't some distant corporate partner idly offering advice. He's sounding the alarm with every interview. Silver has gone on record demanding that Clark's talent and health be respected, but what he's really saying is, this is an emergency. A star with the power to sell out arenas in minutes is now forced to the bench because the league failed to protect her. The message isn't subtle. If the WNBA keeps burning its brightest stars, the trust of investors, fans, and sponsors goes up in smoke. And make no mistake, when the NBA commissioner puts pressure on your league, you're no longer dealing with friendly fire. You're one step from a business intervention.
Clark released this statement through the Fever's social media account saying that she's so excited for Indiana to host WNBA All-Star this weekend and that she says she knows that this is going to be the best All-Star yet. But she does go on to say how incredibly sad and, quote, disappointed she will not be able to participate, adding, quote, I have to rest my body.
Meanwhile, WNBA leadership looks more lost than ever. The person supposed to be steering the ship, Kathy Engelbert, is ducking tough questions and fumbling the simplest PR moments. Sports insiders are openly mocking her reluctance to say Clark's name, and fans are circulating clips where she pivots awkwardly to generic league growth answers anytime the All-Stars injuries come up. The numbers tell a brutal story. When Clark left the lineup, national TV audiences cratered, and feverish demand for tickets evaporated. Industry veterans like Christine Brennan aren't pulling punches, calling Engelbert's leadership everything from uninspired to missing in action. At the very moment the WNBA needs vision, it's getting excuses.
The ball handler, there's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab. I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them. And here, that's a foul, and finally they call.
And finally, they're saying the quiet part out loud. It's a little bit hard to see. She's literally grabbing her arm. It's insane, and none of that was called.
Indianapolis should have been the epicenter of women's basketball this week. A city buzzing with excitement, fans pouring in from around the country to see the league's biggest name in action. Instead, the city is covered in banners and billboards for a star who will be nowhere near the court, thanks to a combination of reckless officiating and a leadership vacuum. Instead of owning the media spotlight, Commissioner Engelbert has been elusive, dodging press conferences and offering platitudes instead of real solutions. The impact is catastrophic. With Clark sidelined, television partners are reporting viewership numbers plummeting by 55% for nationally televised games, advertisers are demanding discounts, and sponsors are quietly questioning their next moves. Analysts on every major sports network are openly asking how the WNBA could let its top attraction go unprotected at such a pivotal moment. It's not just about Clark sitting out. It's about an entire league revealing how little it understands about building and maintaining a modern sports business. The message from the league office has been one of denial and deflection, but the fallout is impossible to ignore. Lost millions, damaged reputation, and a once-in-a-generation opportunity slipping away. The bottom line? The WNBA is at risk of alienating not just casual fans, but the very people and companies willing to invest in the future of the sport.
These women tried to invent this false narrative that the refs actually favor her and officiate her differently, like Angel Reese tried to say it before, and you see it right here. And it feels like the refs in the WNBA buys into it. Like they're like, we're not going to give her calls, even when they're actually legitimate fouls.
On-court chaos has become so routine that even the legends of the league can't keep quiet anymore. During a nationally televised fever game, Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo audibly sighed as she watched Clark get manhandled on every drive, calling out missed foul after missed foul while millions watched at home. The broadcasters, usually so diplomatic, could barely contain their disbelief as egregious non-calls piled up. Meanwhile, Fever head coach Stephanie White has all but declared war on the officials, using post-game interviews to demand accountability and respect for her team. The issue has ballooned beyond competitive frustration. It's about whether the league values its players' health, safety, and careers. It's about a referee culture where missed calls are swept under the rug, where physical abuse is normalized, and where coaches are forced to speak out because nobody else will. For aspiring young players watching at home, the message is chilling. You can dominate the box score, sell out arenas, and still get left to fend for yourself if the league doesn't like the optics. The collective effect is turning fans into skeptics, alienating sponsors, and sparking a social media firestorm as every questionable play is clipped, dissected, and shared with viral outrage. When your stars are this openly unprotected, you're not running a league, you're running a liability.
The ref comes in and she says, "You 100%." He says, 100%. Hey, you keep missing those. I didn't touch it last time. And he said, yeah, but come on now. I didn't touch it at all. And then he says something to her that makes her not happy. Not having a great game, don't take it out on me. And it seems something like that to me. I would guess it seems like he said something along those lines. You're not having a great game, don't take it out on me. Her face is just like, what? That's not. And then she is going to say, that has nothing to do with it. Are you fucking kidding me? From her point of view, it was out of line. It had nothing to do with the calls she was arguing.
If any moment captured the depths of the league's officiating crisis, it was the infamous Connecticut Sun game, a debacle replayed 1,000 times on social media and sports radio. From the opening tip, Clark was a marked target, absorbing cheap shots, hacks, and full-body checks with zero response from the whistle. Every drive was a gauntlet, every off-ball movement a wrestling match. By the third quarter, fans in the arena and at home were chanting for fouls that never came, while the officials seemed content to let mayhem reign. After the final buzzer, Stephanie White's post-game press conference became a rallying cry for reform as she accused the referees of losing control and called out the league for ignoring its most basic responsibilities. Her rant went viral, lighting up highlight shows and talk radio, with everyone from casual fans to retired pros weighing in. The league's official response? Silence. Not even a statement acknowledging mistakes or promising to review the footage. It was the kind of moment that exposes a system in crisis, where even as the league tries to cash in on its newfound relevance, its old habits and old guard are threatening to tear it all apart. As Adam Silver, always the shrewd operator, watches the fiasco from his perch, he knows this isn't just a WNBA problem anymore. It's a warning to every league about the cost of ignoring your stars and the fans who follow them.
You can see her holding her hand right there. And she looks like she re-aggravated, of course, the groin injury, right? That's the star. That's the savior of the WNBA right there, with a towel over her head that has been used and abused in this league. The players can't stand her because they're so petty, they're so jealous.
At this point, Stephanie White's outcry isn't just a coach's rant. It's a historical marker for a league on the edge. She's joined a growing chorus of players and coaches who are done tiptoeing around the obvious. The WNBA's officiating woes are not new, and the league office has ignored years of warnings, letting a culture of inconsistency become business as usual. Now, as the league basks in a fleeting spike of popularity, its leadership is caught flat-footed, unable to manage the very chaos that's been brewing under their watch. White's public frustration is echoed in locker rooms around the league, veterans muttering that standards have slipped, rookies quietly wondering if this is really what they signed up for. Stories are circulating of players adjusting their games not to excel, but to survive the randomness, drawing contact early, then bracing for the officials to let them play when the game is on the line. Fans, too, have noticed the shift. Every missed call or random technical is clipped and shared across TikTok and Twitter, fueling a kind of grassroots outrage that no PR spin can control. The league's own attempts at damage control, pointing to increased ratings or community programs, ring hollow when everyone can see that what's happening on the court is, at best, unprofessional and, at worst, negligent. The result? A sport at war with itself, with star power being wasted on bureaucratic inertia and a system that can't or won't adapt.
I mean, this is what Caitlin Clark is dealing with. That's a foul as she gets body checked. That's a foul. That's a foul. I mean, it's not only until right now when she's finally whacked on the arm. I'm so happy that the broadcast team finally called it out directly.
And then there's Commissioner Engelbert's almost comical response, equal parts dismissive and out of touch. When challenged about the wave of officiating complaints, Engelbert chose to play the "everyone complains when they lose" card, a soundbite that instantly went viral for all the wrong reasons. Social media erupted with memes and sarcastic hashtags, fans editing Engelbert's face onto "this is fine" cartoons as games devolved into chaos. But the problem isn't just PR embarrassment. The numbers are brutal. 2024 saw Clark drive the league to 170% TV ratings growth on ESPN alone, and betting markets that had never before tracked WNBA games now see 50% drop-offs in action the minute Clark is scratched from the lineup. Every one of those missing viewers and lost bets is money out the door, a direct consequence of letting your most bankable star get bullied into injury. Meanwhile, Engelbert seems more focused on delivering bland statements and maintaining the appearance of normalcy than actually confronting the problem. Even respected journalists like Christine Brennan are openly calling for new leadership, questioning whether Engelbert is fit for the challenge of managing a league with this much on the line. The disconnect is glaring. While the league office issues hollow reassurances, fans are circulating petitions and sponsors are reconsidering their investments, unwilling to bankroll a product that can't even protect its greatest assets.
Stephanie White, congratulations. Amber Cox, way to go. Kelly Krauskopf, you did it, girl. You really did it. Way to rush Caitlin Clark back from injury time after time after time after time. To the point where she's tearing and crying on the court because she felt something in her groin. You three ladies couldn't manage a kid's lemonade stand.
Here's the big picture disaster. Everything that's gone wrong this season was not just predictable, it was preventable. Clark's health crisis is merely the most dramatic symptom of a league-wide failure. Better officiating, stricter standards, and real investment in player safety could have avoided this entire debacle. But instead, the league doubled down on a part-time officiating system, relying on refs who split duties with college basketball and lack the training or incentives to protect star talent. That structural rot has now led to the nightmare scenario: Clark missing the All-Star game in her own home state, sponsors balking, fans feeling betrayed, and the NBA commissioner himself forced to publicly voice his concerns. It's not just a WNBA problem anymore. The ripple effects threaten expansion deals, media contracts, and the league's very existence. With the CBA expiring, labor tensions high, and every major broadcaster watching closely, the future of the WNBA is suddenly in jeopardy, not because there wasn't enough talent or momentum, but because the people in charge failed to take care of the very foundation they were handed. The warning signs are everywhere, but the clock is ticking. One more star sidelined, one more public scandal, and the house of cards could collapse. The question is whether anyone in charge is brave enough or smart enough to actually fix it before it's too late.